It's official. The Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs AFC Championship game is happening. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. And in this video today, I waited until the Bills-Chiefs game was over so that I could make this video describing who the Baltimore Ravens are going to play and my initial reaction. The game just finished a couple of minutes ago. I apologize to Bills fans. I don't apologize to the kicker, Tyler Bass. I mean, that's just something where you watch these playoffs, and it wasn't just this game. You watch these playoffs, every single playoffs game, and you go, thank God we have Justin Tucker. Because you watch the Niners game, Niners get a kick blocked by the Packers. Packers kicker ends up missing a field goal. Packers end up losing by 3. And that missed field goal was in the fourth quarter. You watch the Bucs game. Bucs, Lions. Bucs kicker ends up missing a field goal in that game. You watch the Ravens game. Kaimi Fairbairn missed field goal. And then obviously Bills Chiefs, a difficult weather game. Harrison Butker's one of the best clutch kickers in the NFL, especially in cold and windy weather. He always seems to be automatic. He knocks down his field goals, but Tyler Bass does not. He misses the kick with a minute and a half remaining, and that essentially ends it. The Bills had a couple of timeouts. Pacheco ends up getting the first down, and that just wipes it off the clock. So it's unfortunate for Bills fans, but that means that we are playing the Kansas City Chiefs. And I didn't know who I wanted the Ravens to play because my thought process was this. I think the Bills are a better team than the Chiefs. Therefore, you would think, oh, then you want to play the Chiefs. At the same time, the Chiefs have better players. They have Mahomes, who's better than Allen. They have Travis Kelce, who's better than Diggs. As that primary pass catcher, and I think they have the better coach. And so it's like, okay, even though it might be a worse team overall, it's still a really good football team. Do not misconstrue my words. The Chiefs are very good. This is a defensive-led team, and now the Baltimore Ravens get to go up against that. And this Chiefs team showed they can win on the road in a difficult environment. They did not look flustered. They did not look unprepared like the Houston Texans did by the Baltimore Ravens crowd for the Bills crowd in Buffalo. So, you know, Mahomes is a vet, right? You're not going to be able to get the same results out of him. But one of the difficulties in that game, in the Bills Chiefs game, was that there was limited big plays. And when there's limited big plays, it makes it more difficult for the crowd to get into it. Now, obviously, there were still touchdowns. I'm not saying the Bills crowd was not rocking. It was. But imagine if the Bills had connected on, you know, that dropped deep pass to Stephon Diggs, or that 25-yard touchdown pass at the end Josh Allen tried to do when he was hit by Chris Jones. That's when the crowd erupts. That's when the crowd really gets into it, is when you have those really big plays that are unexpected. Most of the Bills' plays were it was slow moving across the field. And that's kind of what the Ravens have been, or at least were in their postseason game, outside of Lamar Jackson's scrambles. But I think one of the biggest things when you're facing the Chiefs is the big play to quiet the crowd. But the Chiefs defense, you have to credit them. They did a very good job at doing that. But if I'm looking at this Baltimore Ravens team and what they need to do against Mahomes, it's get some big plays. Because the Bills defense wasn't getting any big plays. They weren't bringing down Patrick Mahomes for big sacks, or at least it felt like they weren't even forcing bad throws from Mahomes. And that's a credit to Mahomes. He did a good job evading pressure. But the Ravens have one of the best four-man pass rushes in the NFL. And I think Mike McDonald, that benefits us against the Chiefs, because the reason why Patrick Mahomes always lit up the Ravens was Wink Martindale would just call cover zero. It was like, dude, we've got like Anthony Averett covering these guys. Stop calling cover zero. And he was just like, nah. We're going to leave Tyreek Hill in one-on-one all the time. Mike McDonald is not a coach that likes to do that. He will bring pressure, but it's usually only one extra guy. A lot of times it's 5-man pressures on third down, and it's usually like a slot corner blitz. I think that can work against Mahomes, and by work, that doesn't mean we're going to hold him to 3 points. That just means get a couple of stops, because that's ultimately what you're trying to do. But I think the Chiefs wide receiver core is going to be the difference in this football game for the Baltimore Ravens. Because if the Ravens can limit Rashee Rice and MVS and whoever else they have at wide receiver 3, whether it's Justin Watson or Mecole Hardman or any of the other guys that they do bring out, outside of Travis Kelce, that's what they're trying to do. The Ravens need to stop the run, and they need to limit the wide receivers' production, because that's how they got their big plays. The Chiefs had big plays in the game. The Bills did not. It felt like MVS had a couple of deep balls that they were able to connect on, and that's the difference, right? I mean, football's a game of inches. It's a game of small mistakes. The Bills dropped a couple of passes. They missed on a couple of opportunities. They started the game, and they had like multiple fumbles on the first drive. One ends up, Kincaid punches it out of bounds, or maybe it was Dawson Knox. One of the tight ends punches it out of bounds. They get a flag for it. They then fumble, I think, later out of bounds. It was kind of the Bills didn't look necessarily very prepared to start the game, even though I think the game script was really good. And I think that, the Ravens need to address everything and just say, hey, we got to be prepared and we have to be ready, because Chris Jones is a great football player. We need to make sure he's not getting pressure. And the benefit is we saw the Bills run the football very successfully. I think the Ravens need to try and do that offensively, is try and run the ball against the Chiefs, because the Chiefs have great defensive backs. L'Jarius Sneed's a really solid corner. McDuffie's a really solid corner. And the Ravens are in a situation where at least they do have a pretty good run game. Gus Edwards and Justice Hill are going to be huge in this game, as well as Lamar Jackson obviously scrambling with the football, because Josh Allen was successful doing that as well. Guys weren't getting open late. And maybe the Ravens are able to, but this game's going to be difficult. I just wanted to get my initial thoughts out there. Let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts were on the divisional playoff weekend, and if you're excited to face the Chiefs, what you think the Ravens need to do to win. And thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more Daily Ravens content. I'll see all of you again tomorrow.